You know, making this record really came down to a lot of my influences recently of mixing African elements with Latin elements and kind of fusing it in this electronic dance music world that I'm living in currently. And with Work It, I really feel like I was able to do that to the highest degree. And I'm so excited to share the project with you, break it down, show you how I made it, and show you the behind the scenes. You know, my background is I'm Italian and Haitian. I spent a lot of time in the Caribbean. Last year also, I got to go down to Jamaica, record with a lot of artists. So I've been really digging down into my Caribbean, Afrocentric, European heritage to really find different elements to include in my music. I've been producing dance music for almost 10 years now, but in the last year or two, I've really been finding a new sound by fusing these different elements from all around the world into my music. Work It started about 3 years ago. I had the initial idea with the vocals and one of the drops, but I didn't know what to do with it 100%. So I kind of just put it on the back burner, put it in my works in progress folder, and kind of put it aside. This past spring, I came back to it with fresh ears, and I'm like, what? I know there was something there. I know with the vocal, it had this club festival element. I just didn't know 100% what to do with it. When I heard it with fresh ears, I started remaking the drums and the bass. And I came with this Latin rhythm that I immediately knew. I'm like, okay, this is the vibe we're going for. This is how we're gonna do it. And then I just put it together really, really fast, and then boom, it just dropped on Spinnin this October. Music video now, and it's going crazy. But now, let's break the record down. I'm gonna show you all the elements of the song. These are in the track out form. I had a production session, but I bounce all the track outs post-production so I get the levels right before mastering. Here are all the sounds. We have an ARP. I have a bass, and to me, the bass is the key component of this track. The bass is this Latin Brazilian bass that really has this twerky but dancey, real vibey element. Hear it for yourself. For this bass, actually, I use Nexus with a nice side chain kind of open so you could really feel almost the wub of the bass going up and down. I have a clap. Nice tight clap. Some more drums. Drums and actually like a whisper, like a little chant I added in, recorded myself. Some different hat elements, effects of course. Sweeps and white noises. We have the kick, which the kick in this record, I really wanted to make it really, really tight, because since the bass has so much sub, I wanted the kick to punch through everything so you could hear it on all different speakers. Big speakers, laptop speakers. Has a real punchy, kind of high-end kick. One of the biggest elements in this beat is the loop. The loop gives the vibe to me. It really creates that groove. And just listen to the kick, the loop, and the bass for a second, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. It makes you ready to dance right away. What else do we have? What else do we have? We have some more percussion, a lot of percussion. This song really is bass, drums, and the flute. That's really, that's the essence of the production. But a lot of drums and a lot of different timing drums, different drums throughout the whole arrangement, from the intro to the verses to the drop. The drums are consistently changing. Here's one of them. This one was actually played out in my home studio. I have a drum I bought in Jamaica. That one was played out, we recorded it, added reverb, compression, all those little things to make it real tight. Here's another one. So as you can see, the drums are really like this twerky, kind of like high energetic, bouncing up and down consistently. And we have one more drum that. So if you put those three elements together right there, you'll see that this is the drum rhythm going into the drop. And also one thing I think when you're doing these live instruments, it doesn't have to be perfectly 100% on beat. If it's nudged a little bit left and right, or if there's a mistake, it just adds on to the groove, it adds on to the realness, and it kind of just gives it more, almost more rhythm. I have a snare roll throughout this whole section. Then there's the vocal, the lead vocal, which I initially recorded the vocal. Shout out my boy D. Lyles, who laid most of the vocals down on this track. And then I pitched his voice down many different times with different stacks. So right here, it sounds different than it does anywhere else.
All night, all night, all night, all night. We gonna work it all night. Bend over, let me see you work it. Huh? Bend over, bend over. Bend over, let me see you work it. Bend over, bend over.
So right there, you can see the two different elements. And then the last instrument before the flutes is the main African voices. That's the chant. That's the hook. That's like, you know, that's when it's like it's about to drop. So let me play right there. You'll hear everything all together. Right there, put a little snare roll. Nothing too big, but just to like add something different. Kind of like the beat breaks down, it does that, and then boom, the flute comes in, another climactic section of the track. So let's solo out the flute right now, because that's what people were asking me they wanted to hear the most. So this flute was a flute I found in Omnisphere. It's one of my favorite plugins to find real ethnic, different sounding instruments, guitars, flutes, things of that nature. And the melody of the flute, I think, creates this hypnotic, ethnic vibe mixed with the bass that creates the uniqueness in the track. Now we're halfway through the drop. Let's run it one time. Flute goes one octave higher, the drums come in, and it's just full on 4 on the floor for those 8 bars, and then it breaks back down. Let me solo out these drums just so you can hear how I got it. Again, it's not 100% on the 1, on the 2. It's just, you know, we played it live in the studio. You know, I played it on the keyboard off a contact drum. So it's really just, you know, it's feeling the rhythm and then take the best take and then, you know, add the reverb, add the compression, EQ it the right way so it pops out in the mix. And then just hear the flute one time in this section. Where are we at? You'll hear it go up an octave. So right there, now we play that one section back again. So right now I basically showed you 95% of the track. And the last element I want to show you is this UK garage bass line that I actually had 3 years ago, and this was where the initial idea of the track came, but I didn't know exactly how I wanted to use it. But I found a way to use it by implementing it with the flute to create this vibe, and then it fit perfectly into the mix. But let me solo it out so you can hear what I'm talking about. So when you add the kick on that, you feel the bounce. You feel the bounce. It kind of just, it creates this little grittier, twerkier section just for 16 bars until it goes back into the Latin drums. And then you add everything together in that part.
Bend over, let me see you work it. We gon' work it all night. All night, all night, all night, all night. Bend over, let me see you work it. Get it, get it.
And right there, you see, this is the track. You know, this project overall was really pushing my boundaries and finding things inside of me that I really wanted to always put in music that I didn't know 100% how to put in certain records. But with this record, I was able to push my boundaries, explore different styles, different ethnicities, and mix it all together. And that's one thing I really want to bring to my music that I've been working on in my future releases, is blending and merging different cultures all together. And that's really where Gianni Blu, the sound and the brand, is going moving forward. I'm so excited to also share these new records coming out. I have 1 or 2 more records dropping this year, and 2019 we already have a bunch of exciting releases. So stay tuned, thank you for watching, and go check out Work It, Gianni Blu, Spotify, Apple Music, music video on YouTube, and it's a wrap.